What's up, everybody? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to this edition of the Sharpe Reality. Whether you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, or YouTube, we thank you for putting us in your daily lineup. Visit thesharpereality.com anytime to listen to past episodes, and be sure to go to the article section where you'll find some of my best Return of Kings columns. The contact tab is where you can submit your questions, comments, or requests for future podcast episodes. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharpe. If you want to support the show, scroll to the bottom right-hand side of our homepage, bookmark that Amazon link, and do all your Amazon shopping through that link. Won't cost you a dime, so it'll keep your pockets fat while supporting the show. Today I'm going to talk about a few of the unintended consequences of taking the red pill and living the red pill lifestyle. Now, we all know the benefits. They're well documented. But there are a fair number of downsides to living this lifestyle. So I'm going to talk, in the beginning, I'm going to start off talking about the different stages a man goes through when he first finds and accepts the red pill. Then I'll discuss a few of the downsides to make sure that you guys are aware of what to expect when changing your life in this manner. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, taking the red pill is the single most important thing that a man living in this part of the world can do for himself. Once he completely sort of unplugs himself from the matrix, he starts working on building a strong body and mind, getting his financial house in order, depedestalizing women, improving himself in ways that increases his value, and of course, attracting women, the opposite sex. Be that as it may, guys, even myself, I found that the red pill doesn't always go down so easily. Now, when I took the red pill, maybe the first 10 minutes, I was thinking, okay, this can't be it. But eventually, I took to it very quickly. Now, not all men are like myself. Some men fight it. Some deny it. Some even try to sort of spit the pill back out, so to speak, kind of hoping to go back to the land of blissful ignorance. But once a man is made aware of the truth, you're changed forever, whether you like it or not. Even if you continue living the blue pill lifestyle, you've been exposed to the truth. You can't unread or unsee what you've seen. That just doesn't happen that way. Once the male mind is exposed to the red pill, our minds are incapable of flushing it out. And the reason for that is because the truth has always been staring us right in the face. We know, look, at this point, we all know that the red pill provides a sustainable quality of life for men over a prolonged period of time. But all of it starts by simply making a man aware of what he already suspects. We've all seen signs of the red pill, but we've never really acted on it. And once that dormant part of his brain is sort of awakened by the ugly truth, there's no turning back. Like I said before, some things can't be unlearned, and the truth about what's really going on around us as far as women and dating and relationships are concerned, that's one of them. So the progression, the red pill awareness, like most radical changes in life, it has its stages. So the first stage is what I call shock. This is what happens when you see material that sort of flies in the face of the feminist agenda and that it's actually allowed on the internet. The second stage is the anger phase. The anger stage happens almost immediately after the shock wears off. You find yourself becoming angry with women, your parents, the world, even your dog. Obviously not, but now you've realized that you've been sold a bad bill of goods by everybody. And while you're sitting there reading things, drinking this stuff in, you remember past relationships, and now it becomes plainly obvious. Like if you were ever dating a girl and you found out later that she was cheating on you, when you start to consume the red pill and you replay the sequence in your mind, you start to think to yourself, oh yeah, I remember on Tuesday when she said or did XYZ, of course she was fucking Dan or Brian or whatever, whoever it was she was fucking. You start to see things that you didn't see before. The next phase is euphoria. Knowing there are other like-minded men out there who not only understand what you've gone through as a blue pillar, and are able to articulate how to sort of overcome your faulty programming and dominate life, they do it in a way that helps you to do it quickly. We're not purveyors of the red pill like ourselves. We're not this isn't rocket science. Yes, this is a radical change in life, but this is all very simple. All you have to do is you have to sort of teach yourself what you instinctively want to do as a man, as a masculine man. But that euphoria, it's like when you finally realize, yes, I have permission to be a man and dominate life. It gives you a sense of elation like you've never felt before. This was the best stage for me. The next stage is gluttony. Now, this particular stage completely engulfs you because now you're spending hours and hours on the internet, consuming as much manosphere-related material that you can. Your brain hurts and your eyes burn, but you continue to read and sort of stuff your brain late into the night. The next phase after gluttony is addiction. This is when you become hooked on the red pill. You can't go more than a few hours without reading Return of Kings or IllimitableMen.com or The Rational Mail or any of the other 94 sites you have bookmarked. You're refreshing those pages every hour on the hour, kind of looking for that next hit. You've got to have you're almost like you're hooked on drugs. You have to have your next fix or your next fix, or you'll start to get twitchy. The next phase is application. Now, this is where you start to hone your newfound superpowers. You're hitting the gym, you're eating clean, you're taking up productive hobbies. And as a result, your confidence, it's growing daily. So by this point, you've taken to talking to girls whenever and however you damn well please. And, they're lapping up your game. They're liking the new you. At this point, you're also not watching as much TV or wasting as much time on social media as you once did before. You'd rather, at this point, you find yourself in weight or engaging in debates on various red pill forums about shit test theories, or maybe even starting working on your own business so you can get the fuck out of the miserable cubicle that you spend 40 hours a week in, things of that nature. The final stage of the red pill, at least initially, is congruency. The red pill is no longer an idea. It's who you are. You're in better shape. You've done a little bit of traveling. You plan to do more. And, of course, your financial outlook has improved. Now, at this point, you're banging 6 and 7s, pretty consistently, which isn't where you want to be, but you're certainly headed in the right direction. And it's only a matter of time before you're in the best shape of your life. You have more money than you know what to do with, and you're knee-deep in high-quality ass on the regular. So thanks to your red pill renaissance, life is pretty damn good. And, hey, look, it's only going to get better from here on out. But as awesome as your life gets after that initial red pill awakening, it's important to understand there are going to be side effects, guys. Your Crimson Capsule crusade, it's not going to be all sunshine and puppies. And the longer you live this lifestyle, the more obvious this will become. But learning what these side effects are and what to expect will sort of help you to adjust your mentality accordingly. This way you can sort of minimize these effects and maybe even turn them into your advantage. So the first unintended consequence or side effect of taking the red pill is your social circle is going to shrink. All right. You're not going to have as many friends as before. You're not going to be hanging out with as many people. Once you've digested the red pill, it's going to be difficult to sort of hide or cloak your newfound persona. Not that you want to do that in the first place, but one of the main rules, one of the first rules that we teach in the red pill is don't talk about the red pill. If you try to tell your buddies about the red pill, it never, ever, ever goes well. It goes one of two ways. They either just completely reject it and tell you you're out of your fucking mind, or they'll sit there and they'll nod and say, yeah, you're right, and then not do anything about it. Men who take the red pill and accept the red pill are men who seek it out. I don't know of any man who was ever told of the red pill by another man and decided to take the red pill. The most effective, the red pill can only be effective to a man who seeks it out. Try to sort of hide this newfound persona, but eventually the floodgates are going to open. and your friends and family member are going to wonder just what the hell's gotten into you. Now, at some point, they might ask, why it is you're sort of kicking life's ass, but they're not going to like the answers. They'll certainly respect you, and they might even secretly admire you, but the truth is, guys, red pill truth, it scares the shit out of people and makes them uncomfortable. And as a result, this can lead to people avoiding you altogether. Personally, I've lost a fair number of friends over the years because I don't bow down to the almighty vagina. And these days I don't have any issue expressing as much. I used to be of the mind that being open about the red pill, just like I said, was a bad idea. So I kind of kept quiet when I felt the need to offer an opinion. But these days, there's no filter. I say what needs to be said and let the chips fall where they may. Now, again, mind you, I'm not saying, hey, Johnny, let me come over here and tell you what the red pill is all about. But when I find myself in social situations, I don't hide red pill truth. I say what needs to be said, and that's that. Now, Crimson Capsule congruency, it simply will not allow a man to be a fucking blue pill beta. It can't be done. When a girl demands that he buys her drink, he blurts out right after you buy me one without even thinking. That same principle applies with your daily interaction with friends and family members. You just can't hide it. For example, if one of your buddies comes up and tells you he's in love with a woman who is 10 years older than he is, with 2 children, you're probably going to laugh out loud. All right. Now, maybe not to that extreme, but you're not going to sign off on that. Yes, this is probably going to piss him off, and no, he probably won't want to hang with you anymore, but that's just the way it is when you live the red pill life. So you need to be ready for a reduction in your social and family circle. Now, it may suck at first, but after a while, guys, you're going to find that being around like-minded men, as few and far between as they are, when you're around them, as well as feminine, attractive women who show deference in your presence, it significantly increases your quality of life. Now, you'll miss the people that you've spent time with in the past, but hey, guys, listen, this is the price to pay. This is a small price to pay for a better life. Nothing in this life is free. There are costs to everything, and the red pill lifestyle is, it's no different. Now, the second side effect, it's kind of weird, but stay with me here. You won't like women as much. Now, stay with me here. One of the first things that happens when a man takes off his blue pill glasses is that you quickly learn that girls are made of everything but sugar, spice, and everything nice. You understand what makes them tick, and more importantly, what their true nature is. Understanding the naked and ugly truth about women leads to liking them a little less than you did before your eyes were open. Now, again, look, this isn't to say that you're going to despise women. Far from it. We all love the way women smell, the way they walk, the way they feel inside and outside. And genuine femininity brings comfort and has rejuvenating properties. Even though we know that women are weird and wonderful and fantastic and fucked up all at the same time, their company does have unique ways of elevating your mood, however fleeting it may be. But now that you've been sort of let behind the curtain and for the most part can accurately predict pretty much any woman's behavior, they're not quite as impressive or mysterious as they used to be. Plus, having intimate knowledge of some of their worst traits, like their double-edged sexual strategy, alpha fucks, beta bucks, or how slutty they really are, makes it impossible to look at them in the same light. And I'll liken it to a magician. For example, it's like once a magician reveals his trick, he becomes less impressive. The prestige, which I think it's called the prestige, which is the trick, that no longer has the same effect because you know how he accomplished it. Well, it's the same with women. The red pill has so thoroughly and accurately dissected the inner workings of women that they're just not that awe-inspiring anymore. I remember when I used to think that girls were God's greatest gift. I really did. Well, the red pill has destroyed that for me. Even though I'm much better off this way, I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss. I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss the perceived aura that radiated from them. I kind of miss being sort of awestruck by them. So, I mean, listen, ignorance is bliss. We all know that. And sometimes, knowing how the sausage is made isn't all it's cracked up to be. Number 3, and it kind of sort of goes with number 2, but it's kind of different. The third side effect is that the thrill is gone in terms of picking up girls. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that picking up girls is ever boring, but it's not as exciting as it used to be because it's kind of a rinse and repeat. The first time I actually approached a girl with red pill, I'll never forget this. She was sexy as hell. She was redhead. She had a great ass, great legs. I actually saw her at the grocery store. She was in the produce aisle, I guess, trying to pick out a grapefruit. Now, when she reached for one, I noticed that she had a tattoo on her inner wrist, and I'm trying to calm myself down. So I say, hey, so much for a long-term relationship. I tried to playfully joke with myself to kind of calm myself down, but I was going in no matter what. I wanted to finally just try this shit out. So obviously I wasn't thinking about our honeymoon, but as far as I was concerned, she was as good a girl as any to sort of christen my post-red pill game on. Now, to that point, I was a brand new red piller. I had taken the red pill, and I was probably a month in at this point. I practiced, drilled, and rehearsed, all the pickup, all the PUA techniques, the body language, the positioning, the shit test, all that stuff. I was ready. Or at least I thought I was. I took a deep breath, walked up, looked her right in the eye, and I think I looked at her with something of a cross between a smile and a smirk on my face, and I said, "Hi, I'm Donovan." And she bit. She told me her name. And I think her name was Meredith or Madeline or something. Anyway, she shook me. She politely shook my hand. We had about a 10-minute conversation about juicing. I had just bought a juicer from Target, so I tried to sort of steer the conversation in that direction. I passed a relatively easy shit test, kind of made a joke about making green juice, and I got the digits. And I remember when she was putting her number into my phone, I remember thinking to myself, I said, holy fuck. I'm trying to compose myself because I'm excited that this girl had to be an 8. I'm actually, this hot redheaded chick who I had known for 10 minutes was putting her number into my phone. I said, holy shit, this shit actually works. Well, look, the girl ended up flaking, but I didn't care. All right. I was hooked. I was hooked on that dopamine rush that came with interacting with a female, escalating, sort of playing, the cat and mouse game and seeing it work. And after that, I became an approach machine. And even though I had my share of failures, the rest, as they say, is history. But a funny thing kind of happened on the way to, me being, I guess, a quote unquote veteran player. The better I got at gaming females, the less of a thrill it became. Now, again, make no mistake, guys. Let's not kid ourselves. Sticking your dick in a new pussy, it's always going to be exciting. Hell, I'd even go as far as to say that most of the time, the best sex you ever have with a girl is the first time. But the path that leads past the typical Western woman's panties is anything but a road less traveled. Yes, every girl is different in their own way. And yes, it requires minor tweaks in your game to fuck her. But by and large, guys, the same technique works for most American girls. Bold approach, charm, pass a shit test, number closed, throw some text game in there, meet up, sort of do a push-pull, escalate, swat away the last minute, the last minute resistance, which is a shit test, fuck her and close the deal. Well, the days where feminine women and masculine men engaged in the seductive mating dances of yesteryear, those are gone. Like all the playful flirting, laughing together, kind of asking each other honest questions and being genuinely interested in the answers. That used to be how things were. And every once in a while, there'd be an adult beverage or two, just kind of lively dancing. Like all of that interaction, that used to be like the courting game. interaction between men and women as far as courting was concerned. It used to be immensely enjoyed by both men and women. Like the thrill of the chase was rich and it was palpable and it never got old. Well, listen, today things could not be more different. Listen, first dates for men, as far as I'm concerned, it's something akin to job interviews. And the only flirting involved these days is when she gives him slut face or grabs his dick or asks him, what he does for a living to sort of gauge his potential to fund her useless fucking life. Now, this, of course, is followed by him trying to neg her or overgame her, telling her that her ass looks huge in those jeans or that she'd make a great candidate for his harem, which shouldn't work, but for whatever reason, it gets her all hot and bothered. And as far as the dancing is concerned, if you've been to a club lately, listen, basically dancing at a club, it's simulated clothed sex. And of course, everyone's drinking, they're fucking getting trashed. And it's like a pseudo pornographic scene, is what it is. And that's if we're lucky. Much of the time, it doesn't even get that far because most of the time men are afraid of women, and men are afraid of women because their bratty behavior kind of stops the party before it begins. Learning to thrive in today's sexual landscape as a man is a process. And once he can achieve success, which of course is sex on a regular basis, his morale improves, especially if he's never been good with women. But after a few years, guys, putting on a clown suit, so to speak, as Roosh used to call it, putting on a clown suit to sort of appease women, it gets old. And eventually the monotony and the predictability of game, it eventually kills the thrill of the chase. And that's kind of where I am. Now, there are a few remedies involved, and that's really where this all kind of comes to a close. Now, look, there's no question, guys, that it's kind of a bummer when your parents express their disappointment or wonder aloud, kind of where they went wrong with you, and you tell them you have no interest in having children or starting a family one day. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I don't miss some of my old friends, man. I love those guys. I really, really liked them, but when I changed, I couldn't swim with those guys anymore. That's just how it was. And I'll tell you this too. It's also crappy when you finally accept that girls just aren't the shiny objects you thought they were. And of course, for me, the worst thing about the red pill is that the adrenaline rush that comes with approaching girls, it's almost diminished for me. It's not exciting. It's almost non-existent. Now, fortunately for us, the red pill offers kind of natural remedies to these side effects. Friends and family members that shun you for not going with the feminist flow, they will matter less and less as you continue in your development. Yes, you'll still have your family. Your family's always going to love you no matter what. But a man who is truly sure of himself, a true alpha, doesn't really need acceptance or validation from anyone but himself. Yes, you'll continue to go see your family on holidays and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that noise. And every once in a while, you'll text with your old buddies. But at the end of the day, you don't need those people. You have new friends. You've surrounded yourself by like-minded men and feminine women. Now, as far as women go, the more you learn about them, the more you realize how unnecessary they are to your overall happiness. Aside from the few minutes of sex that you're able to game out of them. But by the time you master game here in the States, your boredom will kind of let you know that maybe you're ready to take the party abroad and maybe sample a higher quality of woman. And Roosh did this. Like the challenge of becoming sort of an international playboy will, and listen, you're not going to go that far, but maybe a new location where there are better quality women like Eastern Europe, South America, destinations like that will rejuvenate your fervor to sort of pursue girls of a different breed. Now, these particular side effects, that I mentioned, they may not sound like much, but if you don't know how to sidestep these things or make them or take advantage of them, they could blindside you and potentially derail your development as a red pill aware male. It's not going to knock you off track. I'm certainly not saying that, but it really could slow you down if you're trying to hang on to those blue pill friends, or you're trying to impress your family and trying to hide your blue pill persona, or if you're trying to continue to look at girls like the shiny objects. Like, listen, doing all that stuff is only going to hold you back, and eventually you'll realize this and sort of do your own thing and go your own way. Take heed of these speed bumps and take the time to sort of fortify yourself and fortify your mindset and lifestyle accordingly. And you'll continue to successfully develop as a red pill aware male. Now, tomorrow on the Sharpe Reality Live, I will be joined by author and professional dating coach Alan Roger Curry. Now, guys, this guy is a veteran of the game and has coached many, many men around the world. He's held numerous dating boot camps and has written multiple books on dating. He and I are going to discuss a lot of different things. We'll talk about his latest audiobook entitled The Beta Male Revolution, Why Men Have Totally Lost Interest in Marriage in Today's Society. And we're also going to talk about women who are what he calls wholesome pretenders and manipulative time wasters. So we're going to be breaking down women hardcore style and learn about what it takes to consistently fuck them. So be sure to tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube via Google Hangouts. I'll start tweeting out that link a little bit later on today so you'll know where to go. That concludes this episode of The Sharpe Reality. Be sure to visit thesharpereality.com anytime. Hit me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharpe, or go to the contact tab on my homepage. And don't forget to bookmark our Amazon link at the bottom right-hand corner of our page to support the show. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you next time.